Just saved her life. You're gonna be lying here.
Yeah. I get it. You're really mad at him for killing himself and destroying everything you love. I don't have time for this. Are you going to apologize?
I'm living my life the way I want.
Are you going to give me some blood?
Look, if he doesn't give a damn, then neither do I.
Okay, option B. Why did your wife kill herself? Did she hate you?
She was a diabetic.
You know, you don't know a thing about my Susan.
Either Susan wanted to die, or she was both fat and stupid. Used a Twinkie instead of a gun. The girls with big appetites, well, they just can't get enough of any. Shut up. We nibble on every devil dog in the county.
Shut up!
Jeez, I'm not making myself clear. I don't mean the delicious snack.
You son of a bitch! Yeah? Come on!
Thank you. It means I can do this. We're gonna need some epi in here. Stop! Are you out of your mind? You said you didn't care. Notice how you can't breathe? Now, either that's the cane, or I just ruptured one of those liver cysts we were chatting about. We got an anaphylactic shock. Exactly the same way your son did when he accidentally tripped against my friend's car. I'm just so excited to find out which. I'm gonna schedule the surgery.
Those on Medicare could be eligible for a healthy grocery allowance worth up to $900 that is available now with a Medicare Advantage plan. The healthy grocery.
Andrew Dawson, going by the handle Handicapped, was just another guy on TikTok. Although TikTok is full of people posting conspiracy videos, Andrew wasn't one of them. His videos reflected the life of a nice, normal guy, 34 years old, living in British Columbia. Good job, nice friends, close relationship with his girlfriend and her kids. That's probably why he wasn't prepared for the rabbit hole he was about to go down. On April 9th, 2022, Andrew was driving with a friend when he spotted something on the ridge of Whistler's Peak in Alberta, Canada.
What is it? Person, dude. No, seriously, pull over.
Although his friend wasn't convinced, Andrew said it was a person. But at that zoom, from that distance, whatever this is, it was way too big to be a person. Well, too big to be a normal-sized person.
The person standing there. No, it's not. Dude, have you seen what I see right now?
That video got millions of views.
Well, they keep telling you that videos about giants are a good idea.
Yeah, they do keep saying that, but you know I don't
You don't like cryptids. I know, you've said.
Right.
Well, which is more important? What you like or views?
Views.
Well, better learn to love stories about Bigfoot, Chupacabra, and the Crab Cat.
There's no such thing as a crab.
See the Crab Cat?
Thousands of people in Andrew's comments wanted him to get closer to the mountain and try to find out exactly what the object was.
We are on our way. We're gonna go find somewhere closer, and I'm gonna set my camera on something so you guys aren't complaining how shaky it is in the truck. Because, yeah, the internet has no chill.
I have to agree with Andrew on that one. The internet definitely has no chill. Just look at all the comments on YouTube Shorts.
So that's the mountain we're going to. But we're just gonna try to get closer.
Andrew's friend didn't think it was a giant. He just thought it was a tower or some large structure on the ridge. But it couldn't have been a tower.
No, why not?
Because when Andrew went back to look for it, it was gone.
Okay, I'm gonna use this as a tripod to try to keep it steady for you guys. And it's not even there anymore, too. That's where it was yesterday.
Andrew spoke to a few locals about what he thought was a giant. Residents told him that something lives in the mountains, but it's not always visible.
I spoke to some locals and it comes and goes apparently. I don't know. See, that's me trying to keep it super steady when something's everywhere. You know how hard it is to keep it steady when it's zoomed in all the way?
This area of Canada has had over 200 Bigfoot or Sasquatch sightings going back to the 1800s. And native tribes in this area have a legend about Sasquatch that goes back 1,000 years. In fact, the word Sasquatch comes from the Salish word for wild man or hairy man. The last Sasquatch sighting was in 2014 when the news reported a Bigfoot-like creature walking through the snow near Whistler.
Pretty sure. Just Sasquatch down there. I can't really see it very well. Just a little black dot.
Sound like bullshit.
In the middle of the snow.
It's got
In the middle of nowhere. That is pretty good. I can't zoom in anymore. This guy's just scampering up snow. It's no big deal.
This is Jasper National Park, the same area. Locals gave Andrew directions to the location where he saw whatever it was that he saw. But even though he was driving on a public road in a national park, he was stopped by some type of government agent.
I just got stopped by like some CIA agent. He told me to turn around, said I'm trespassing. I said it's a public area, public park or whatever. Some local told me to take this path. I didn't get it on camera, but I'm going to go again tomorrow and be prepared to be filming right now because he stopped the vehicle. His truck is blocking it. Said some environmental issue was going on. I don't know. He told me to go back and said I was trespassing. I don't get it. It was awkward, but I'm going back again tomorrow to see if he's not there. But if he is there, I will keep the camera. I will film because the only angle I can get that I found today is the one I just posted earlier, and there wasn't even anything there. But I don't understand why the road's blocked off. I don't know.
Now, I've read some debunkers on Reddit that challenge this CIA idea.
Yeah, Reddit, huh? What do those geniuses have to say?
Well, they say that the CIA doesn't operate in Canada.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts me. Oh, I gave myself a stitch. Oh. Hey, Reddit, the CIA operates everywhere.
They operate everywhere. And even if you think the CIA doesn't operate in Canada, which is adorable if you believe that, Canada's intelligence agency, the CSIS, operates everywhere. And that's who could have stopped him.
Oh, did he go back the next day?
Yep.
Did he record it?
Yep.
Ha Cholula!
Andrew left the house early to head back to the mountain to try to find the creature.
Alright, I woke up extra early today. Rex, you ready to go on an adventure? Currently 5:30 in the morning. I'm gonna see if he's there early in the morning. And see if I can get up a little bit. Look at all these mountains I got. They are everywhere around here too. That's the one. Alright, let's go.
On Andrew's trip back to the mountain, he recorded a couple of more strange events.
Ooh!
What's weird?
What the is that?
That looks like many other UFO sightings in the area. But things get even stranger. Andrew then spotted this over the mountain.
So they're extracting something out of here. There's 2 helicopters.
Black helicopters, UFOs, big feet. What the hell is going on in this mountain?
All this is happening on Andrew's drive to the mountain within the same hour or two. Now, he looked all over, but he couldn't find the giant in the mountains. But later that evening, he does find the road where he was stopped previously. And just like he said, there is an agent there in an unmarked car. The agent once again tells Andrew the road's closed.
The guy's here again. Yeah, this is him. What's going on? Let's turn around. Really? Yeah, I just turn around. Oh, okay. Have a good night, man.
Andrew doesn't argue. He turns his car around and heads home.
So that was up. There he is. I'm driving past him again. Just turned around. I don't understand why it's closed off though. It's a public park or public road or whatever.
But whoever that agent was, it wouldn't be the last time we see him. Andrew didn't post any videos for a few days, but soon we would learn why. On April 16th, he uploaded a video titled Being Stalked.
That's it, so beautiful.
Things just got real.
They did. And that looks like the same unmarked Dodge Charger from the last video. The mountain is pretty far from Andrew's house, so whoever stopped him on the dark road somehow found out where he lived and was watching him from the street.
The kid's got some balls to run out there like that.
He does. But like I said, Andrew isn't a conspiracy black helicopter Men in Black believer. He probably doesn't understand how dangerous this move was. His fans tried to explain this to him. After he posted that video, people in his comments told him that this was a stupid idea and he needs to be really careful. Then people got really nervous when Andrew didn't post a follow-up. He'd been uploading videos pretty consistently. Everything that's happened so far took place in a single week, but then nothing. Rumors on TikTok began running wild. People speculated that he was abducted or maybe something worse. Finally, after 3 weeks, Andrew returns with another video. But this one is very different than the others. It's called Official Update.
Hey guys, I just want to give you an update. I'm not dead. I have not disappeared. I have just been busy with life. I couldn't get around to posting and updating you guys, so now I'm going to give you an official update of what's been going on. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all of the videos that I posted were scripted. They're just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I just need to give you a quick update.
I'm not suspicious at all.
Andrew is leaning up against a plain wall with his hands in his pockets. He never posts like this. And in every other video he's posted, he records himself. But in this video, the phone or camera is on a tripod. Also, this video has a slightly different aspect ratio than his other videos.
Which means?
Different phone.
Oh no.
And look at his eyes. Doesn't it seem like he's looking at someone else in the room? Many people pointed out that it looked like Andrew was forced into making this video. People continued to speculate about whether or not Andrew was coerced. But 10 days later, we would learn the truth from Andrew himself.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
For the caption of that video, Andrew wrote, "Too much has happened and I can't be forced to be silent." Andrew was finally ready to tell the world what happened to him. The following day, he would upload another video.
Hey, it's me, your skin. Help me maintain my moisture balance with CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser.
Bush Live 2023 Tour, Friday, February 17th, Ovation Hall and Ocean Casino Resort. Bush
with very special guest Canada Vlogs. The hits and music from the new album, The Art of Survival, out now. Get tickets now at theoceanac.com.
Yeah, why?
Don't miss Bush Live.
Andrew's life had become complicated. A story that began as simple curiosity about a tall figure on a mountain descended into a saga where Andrew's being followed and watched by a mysterious agent working for an unnamed agency. Then he's forced to record a confession retracting everything he said in his videos, and then retracts that retraction 10 days later saying the videos were real. Now, clearly, whoever forced his confession was following his TikTok account. But the big question was who?
Goodbye.
Well, Andrew might have given us a clue when he posted a video the following day, titled Military.
What is that? That was not there yesterday.
So, we've got a sighting of a humanoid figure or some kind of structure on a local mountain that disappears the following day. Strange objects in the sky over the mountain. Helicopters circling and carrying large equipment either in or out of the area. And government agents closing public roads, then surveilling and possibly abducting people. And now an ominous black structure that was literally built overnight. In only a month, Andrew went from a happy, fun, regular guy to anxious and paranoid.
It's not very nice.
How's life treating you?
People really are following you.
That's true. On May 13th, Tony Merkel, host of the Confessionals podcast, reached out to Andrew on Instagram about a possible interview. Tony didn't hear back. But a little over a month later, on June 23rd, Andrew responded. Tony asked Andrew if the videos were real or a prank. Andrew said, all fake. Everything's fake, it's fake. Then Andrew asked, why? What did you see? Tony posted a link to Andrew's confession. Andrew wrote back that he can't say anything about it and that it didn't happen. Andrew then tells Tony he shouldn't be talking to him and to be safe. The video of the structure on the mountain was Andrew's last TikTok video, but he kept posting on Facebook. Andrew's Facebook posts were mostly pictures of family and friends, jokes and random positive thoughts. He was excited about a trip to Mexico that he just booked. It seemed like Andrew Dawson was ready to put the entire mountain mystery behind him and get on with his life. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be possible. Andrew's followers fell into one of two camps. One, the people who wanted him to keep digging for more answers, to keep posting videos of what he found. And the other camp, people telling Andrew that he stumbled into a very dangerous situation, and by posting these videos, which were being seen by millions of people, he could be putting his life in danger. His fans urged him to stop posting videos about whatever this was. They told him to hire a lawyer and go to the media. They felt the only way Andrew could protect himself was to get his story into the news. But even though Andrew said he wouldn't remain silent, that's exactly what he did. He didn't post any more videos. He declined interview requests. He didn't say another word about this. But he did show up in the local newspaper about a week later.
Oh, he went to the media, huh? Good idea.
No, he didn't go to the media.
What was in the paper?
Andrew's obituary.
Oh, no.
On July 1st, about 6 weeks after Andrew's TikTok video, his obituary appeared in the Campbell River Mirror.
Hello, friend.
Information online went wild. Was his death a coincidence? Or is this yet another example of a whistleblower suddenly disappearing? And what was it that Andrew saw on the mountain? If anyone was looking for closure on these mysteries, they weren't going to get it. Andrew Dawson passed away on July 1st, 2022. He was only 34 years old. The Andrew Dawson story was one of the biggest internet mysteries of the year. But is it true? Well, let's take it step by step. The video that started all this was the giant on the ridge. Now, I've seen this mountain reported as Whistler Peak, but it's not. That ridge is actually Canoe Mountain. Andrew took this video while driving south on BC5, or Yellowhead Highway. We know this because at the very beginning of his video, we see the sign for Cedarside Regional Park. Now, if we follow Andrew's route and grab images that are overcast, you can see this is the right mountain. And if we zoom into that peak, we can see the object. What Andrew thought looked like a giant was just the top of a cell phone tower. Now, the reason the tower disappeared in a later video is because he was recording a little further down the highway where the road veers to the west. That puts the tower out of view. The UFO video was taken over a different mountain. Now, while this could be a UFO, it's probably just contrails. The reason it looks bright orange is because the video was taken while the sun was coming up. Now, the helicopter video is fun.
Now I've got to go.
Lots of stories we cover seem to have black helicopters circling around, but that's not what's happening here. What Andrew saw is called helilogging. This is when helicopters are brought in to remove trees from inaccessible areas. And the building that Andrew saw, that was actually the Jasper Skytram.
Yeah, but how did they build that overnight?
They didn't. It was built in 1964.
Oh.
So was Andrew hoaxing? Or did he really not know about the Skytram? He's from the area, so it's safe to say that he knew about it. And I'm sure that wasn't the first time he saw a helicopter carrying logs. So far, Andrew's story isn't panning out. But things do get a little more complicated when it comes to the CIA agent, or whoever that was. It was definitely the same car that was on the mountain road and that tore away from his house. But was this guy a government agent? It's hard to tell from the footage. There are a few frames where we see him fairly close up. But if he's a man in black, he's the first one I've seen to wear stretchy pants tucked into Timberlands.
So maybe Canadian men in black are outdoorsy and fashionable.
Could be, but I'll leave that up to you to decide. But the agent doesn't sound like law enforcement.
Both folks, turn around. Really? Can I just turn around, please? Can I just turn around, please?
Kind of casual. Ever been pulled over and initially the officer is standoffish and kind of robotic? That's not them being a jerk. Police are trained to establish authority at the beginning of an encounter. This guy doesn't sound like a cop to me, and definitely not like a Fed.
Can I just turn around, please?
Now, the quote-unquote agent was driving a 2015 Dodge Charger. We know that some Canadian law enforcement agencies use that vehicle. But if it's a government vehicle, why does it have an aftermarket exhaust system? And that was not professional surveillance. You don't park right in front of the target's house with the motor running and the lights on. As far as tradecraft goes, that's a huge fail and highly suspicious. Now, Andrew's forced confession was definitely odd, but it doesn't feel right to me. Andrew looks off camera, it looks forced, like he's overacting. Andrew was an aspiring musician and was excited about all the views he was getting on TikTok. We know he liked performing for the camera. We could be watching a performance here. But I could be wrong. Maybe he's being sincere. But if he really was forced into making this video, I think it's strange that the image he used for the thumbnail was of him looking away, like he's calling attention to it. You think whoever forced him to make the video would have prevented him from using that frame and calling attention to it.
Oh, maybe he was giving us a signal that someone was in the room with him.
Maybe. But if a government would go to the trouble and take the risk of abducting a person and forcing them to post a TikTok video, that government could just as easily force him to remove all the videos about the mountain, or force him to delete his account.
Or just delete the person who owns the account, which they did.
Right. Andrew's death is the strangest part of this whole story. And still, there are a few details that don't add up.
How much are you paying to have another man cut your hair?
Oh, it's real cheap, I promise. Oops.
We've been able to explain just about every one of Andrew's videos. I think we've solved everything he saw on or around the mountains, or at least we've made pretty strong cases for a hoax. But Andrew's death is not so easy to solve. There are aspects of it that feel like a hoax, but there are aspects that make me think he might actually be gone. Andrew's obituary did show up in the local paper on July 1st, but anyone can post on that newspaper's website without a death certificate. Looking at the source code of the page, we can see that his obituary was first published on July 1st at 7 a.m., but he died on July 1st. So did he pass away very early in the morning, and then someone submitted an obituary to the paper just a few hours later? That's odd to me. Now, there have been at least 2 people who have confirmed Andrew's death. They allegedly said he was depressed and took his own life. Now, could they be part of the hoax and covering? Sure, but faking your own death isn't easy. His Facebook page has been changed to a remembering page. That attracts a lot of attention. Andrew's girlfriend created a couple of videos after his passing that look pretty sincere. Well, most of them do. Now, I don't love the idea of posting TikToks about your partner's death. That seems weird to me. Why put something so painful and personal online?
You're such a boomer.
Yeah, I know. I've been told that this is not that unusual for TikTokers. To me, it feels a little unseemly. But everyone processes grief in their own way. By the way, I'm not going to link to her social media. If you're going to find her, it's easy enough to do. But please don't comment on her posts or reach out to her. Just leave her alone. Every comment she gets is what happened to Andrew. And if he really is gone, then all those comments have to be torture. Now, some other things are strange. There's very little information about Andrew online. I couldn't find birth records, death records, residences, phone numbers, what schools he went to, employment history, arrest records, or really records of any kind. The only background information I could find comes from his Facebook page, but I could find members of his family. I found his grandfather, who Andrew's named after. I found his mother. I found his siblings. I thought it was strange that his sister posted nothing about the passing of her brother on her social media, and she posts every day. Now, if he really is gone, his family has my condolences. But if he's alive, then he has my congratulations. If this is a hoax, it's a good one. If it's not a hoax, it's really, really sad.
On your ear. It's in my ear. I didn't even know that you missed me.
Yeah, I really hope this is a hoax, and at some point Andrew reappears. Maybe he posts a TikTok video explaining everything, and how difficult it was to keep this secret for so many months. Then he could live his life, raise his kids, and when they grow up, tell them the story about how Daddy fooled everyone on the internet. Something tells me he's never going to get that chance. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. My name's AJ, that's Hecklefish. This has been the Y-Files. If you had fun or learned anything, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share. That stuff really helps the channel. And like most topics we cover on this channel, today's topic was recommended by you. So if there's a story you'd like to see or learn more about, go to theyfiles.com/tips. And special thanks to our patrons who made this channel possible. Without you guys, there'd be no channel, so thanks for everything that you do. And if you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a member on Patreon, or grab something from the Wi-Fi store.
4 out of 5 people surveyed say coffee tastes better coming out of a lizard people mug.
4 out of 5, huh?
Hey, it's just science.
You say so. That's gonna do it. Until next time, be safe, be kind, and know that you are appreciated.
If you're 60 years old or older, amino acids may be the most important
Hello friends, today I will tell about the film called From Hell. The film begins in an opium smokehouse, where the main character is the inspector. Scotland Yard Oberline indulges in a vicious habit. In 1888 in London, it was popular. The sky over the capital of the British Empire is painted in a bloody color. On the streets, the city is in full swing. Overdressed courtesans with a keen eye seek out in the crowd of clients a red-haired worker of a horizontal profile. Mary Kelly enters an alley where two thugs slow her down. The girl owes them money for rent. In the morning, prostituting a marathon for a working day, Cruella's former colleague asks to look after the baby. In exchange, she promises to take the missing amount from her husband for rent, but moments later she's kidnapped along with her husband. After they are tortured, Mary and a colleague are shaking with fear with the child in their arms. The girl decides to take the baby to a shelter. When she leaves, someone drags the prostitute left alone into a dark doorway, and the blade of a knife sparkles in the darkness. Events return to the sense of the inspector, lying there with dilated pupils. From there, Sergeant Godey pulls him out. It turns out that under the influence of opium, the inspector has clairvoyance. He saw the murders of a prostitute. With a partner, they go to a morgue to examine the body. The perpetrator cut out what was between the legs of the victim. In the hospital, Sir William Gow, personal physician of the royal family, together with colleagues, is watching the operations of Dr. Farrell. The patient turns out to be the previously kidnapped girl Cruella. She is being lobotomized. Her former associates are discussing prospects. There is no money. Landlords will soon come for a debt, and one of them was stabbed to death last night. One of the girls is watched by a thug and threatened with a knife. He is chased away by a constable who happened to be nearby, after which the frightened girl with a new customer sits in a carriage. But he turns out to be a killer. Having strangled the girl, he leaves the cut body on the pavement. In the morning, a crowd of people gather near the crime scene. Oberline has to make his way through curious onlookers. He notices that the victim's clothes are dry despite the night's rain, which means they brought her in a covered transport. He also finds a spray of grapes that he cannot afford such a girl. At a review in the morgue, he admits that the killer does not act like ordinary criminals. His actions are cruel, but subject to a certain goal. At a briefing, the inspector tells the police about conclusions. You need to interview all the butchers. As a rule, they know how to butcher carcasses and remove organs. In addition, Oberline suspects that the killer may be a doctor. They also know how to cut people. In the morning, the inspector, together with the surgeon, goes to the funeral of the murdered woman. They want to talk to her colleagues, but they do not want to communicate with government representatives. Meanwhile, the killer is going on a night hunt for his clothes, and medical instrument can be seen that it is a very wealthy person. Waiting outside the carriage, the coachman, having received an order, goes in search of a girl of easy virtue, who must be delivered to the specified address. There she, like the rest of the victims, is killed. The inspector inspects another crime scene. The constables found nearby a piece of a leather apron that butchers usually wear. A vine branch lies in the victim's hand. Oberline concludes that the killer is acting in accordance with some kind of ritual. After that, he goes to a London hospital, where scientists demonstrate a patient with elephantiasis in order to collect donations. The inspector turns to Dr. Farrell with a request to act as an expert. He is the best young surgeon in the city. He refuses, not believing that an educated person was involved in the murder. The conversation is accidentally overheard by Sir William Gow and generously offers his help. In the process, doctor says that for such an autopsy it was necessary not one scalpel, but a whole set that is usually carried in a bag. He confirms the detective's suspicion that the killer is well versed in anatomy.
How is life treating
At
you?
Buckingham Palace, Dr. Gow talks to the Queen about the progressing illness of his grandson, Prince Albert. Oberline, using his guesses, instructs the constables in which area to expect the next murder. He orders to pay attention not only to butchers and Jews, but also to well-dressed gentlemen. There is a suspicion that the Ripper is from high society. Sergeant Godey catches Mary Kelly on the street and brings her to Oberline. He asks the girl if she remembers anything suspicious. Then the girl talks about the kidnapping of Cruelly. From the description, he recognizes the head. Special Police Department, Ben Kindley. Oberline goes to visit him. Ben Kindley is not at his workplace. The inspector sneaks into his office and finds in the papers the data of the kidnapped woman and her child who disappeared along with her grandmother. Quest interrupted by Kindley's return. Oberline, he leaves in time, but Kindley finds out that someone was in the office. The inspector and Mary Kelly go to the almshouse, where they keep the lobotomized Cruella. After the operation, the girl cannot speak normally. The inspector asks a question about the father of the child. The woman begins to repeat, "He is a prince, he is a prince." Later, Mary Kelly tells that she was a witness to the wedding of a friend and some rich artists. The inspector invites Mary to the art gallery, where hanging portraits of members of the royal family. One of the paintings depicts Prince Albert, the grandson of Queen Victoria. When Mary sees him, she recognizes Cruelly's secret husband. Oberline goes to William Gow. He discusses with him the version that the prince is the killer Ripper. But the doctor reveals to him secret. Oliver has syphilis, and the disease has reached such a stage that he is not physically capable of it. The head of the special department, Kindley, comes to a meeting of the Masonic Order, where the head of Oberline is also present. The Masons take in. It's ranked by a new member, Dr. Furl. They decide to confuse the investigation and send the inspector a letter allegedly from the killer. But he is well aware that the manuscripts are fake, but soon they bring a parcel with half a human kidney. The public demands action from the police, so Oberline orders the head of the prostitutes to be arrested, and he gives the girls money to leave for a couple of days. Between him and Mary Kelly, there is sympathy. The inspector finds out that Ben Kindley, prior to serving in Special Department, was an assistant surgeon. He believes that in this way he sweeps the shame of the royal family. Indeed, from a commoner, Cruelly and Albert is the rightful heir to the throne, which can shake the British Empire, and Cruelly's colleagues are witnesses. That same night, the killer inflicts by killing 2 more prostitutes. In addition, he leaves a message in chalk on the wall. I hope to throw off the trail and cause popular unrest against the Jews. Oberline goes to the crime scene where he sees the inscription written as competently as he can write. Only a person from high society. The chief of police appears, orders the evidence to be washed away, ignoring the arguments of the inspector, and Oberline himself is removed from the investigation. The inspector goes to the library to study the history of the Masonic Order. At this time, Mary Kelly tracks down the coachman. Oberline returns to Dr. Gall to share suspicions that the Masons are behind the murders. The inspector believes that Gall is the same Freemason who executes the orders of the Order and hides the secret of the royal court. But the cutting out of organs is the doctor's personal revenge on the prostitutes who infected the prince with the fatal disease. When Gall confesses, Oberline wants to kill him, but Kindley stops him. William Gall on his way to kill the last victim. Bound Oberline being taken to the carriage, Kindley and Dr. Farrell want to kill him. But the inspector manages to get out along the way, turning the carriage over, which leads to the death of the enemies. After he runs to Mary Kelly to save, but the killer is already sitting on her bed and soon cuts out the heart of the last victim and throws it into the kettle, which puts on fire. Oberline is not allowed there. His boss informs him about everything. Oberline finds a patch of hair on the victim's body. Its color does not match Mary Kelly's red curls. In a tavern, the inspector receives a message. It turns out that the girl left a little earlier, taken. Cruelly's child from the orphanage and came instead. A new girl and did not have time to light up anywhere. The Queen is reported on the successful concealment of all evidence and the elimination of witnesses. Sir William Gall appears before the Freemasons, old man sentenced to lobotomy. Landscapes flash in the last scene. Small Irish village where married. Kelly is raising daughter Cruelly, heir to the throne of Prince Albert. It turns out to be visions of Oberline who smoked opium. Sergeant Gotti came to him and notices that he is dead. He holds 2 coins in his hand, a payment for his funeral. Thank you for watching, and see you on the channel.
With Medicare, you have choices. It feels complicated, but it really is simple. You can do nothing and nothing changes, or you can check your zip code and find out if you're eligible to get more. If you want more, check your zip code and find out if you can get more with a Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare Advantage plans, also known as Medicare Part C plans, offer all the same coverage as traditional Medicare Parts A and B, but most also offer more. More benefits that may help your mind and body. More savings and fewer medical bills to up your wallet. If you want more, check your zip code and find out if you can get more with a Medicare Advantage plan. When you think about your choices, do you ever want more coverage and fewer medical bills? Do you want more coverage for your health needs? Do you want more savings? Do you want a plan with more benefits? If you want more, check your zip code and find out if you can get more with a Medicare Advantage plan. The call is free and there's no obligation to enroll. With Medicare, you have choices. It feels complicated, but it really is simple. You can do nothing and nothing changes, or you can check your zip code and find out if you're eligible to get more with a Medicare Advantage plan. With your zip code, our licensed insurance agents can determine if you're eligible for a plan with more benefits in your area. If you have Medicare, you may qualify for a special enrollment period right now. Even if you called last year, you may still be eligible to get more. So make the smart choice. Call now and check your zip code to find out if you're eligible to get more with a Medicare Advantage plan. You will not get more automatically. It's up to you to make that choice. If you want more, take action to get more. Call now and check your zip code to find out if you can get more with a Medicare Advantage plan. The call is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 800-404-2320.
That's 800-404-2320. 800-404-2320. Call now.
If you want to eat healthy and feel your best, you've got to try Kachava. Kachava is the world's healthiest all-in-one meal shake. It's made with over 70 plant-based superfoods and nutrients. Giving you all your essentials in one delicious meal. Cheers!
Oh, hell yeah.
Just water, 2 scoops, blend and go. A complete meal in seconds. To keep you going for hours. Only the highest quality plant-based ingredients. To fuel your body and mind. Made for health-conscious people on the go. It's amazing what you can do when you eat healthy and feel your best. Join thousands of happy customers using Kachava to achieve their health goals. It all starts with changing what you put into your body. Click the link and start today.
I must be going crazy. I can see a town that doesn't exist. My name is Samuel Baker. I'm a Yellowstone National Park Ranger and I need some advice. I spent my entire career fighting wildfires for the National Park Service. 2 decades in the field, I thought I'd seen everything. Then about 4 hours ago, an entire town just appeared in the middle of Yellowstone National Park. And the other ranger and I are the only ones who've been in it. We're not alone, however, as you might expect from something appearing out of nowhere inside one of America's most famous parks. The town is home to many people, some of whom have been here for years. They all seem perfectly normal, but they aren't aware that they live inside a national park. My partner Thomas was the first to notice the town. He'd driven into the valley a few hours before dawn one morning and saw a brand new sign on the road. "Welcome to Hungry Horse," it read. When he drove past the next bend in the road, he saw a motel. That's when he turned around to come and get me. The two of us had driven up the valley together in our trusty old Chevy Blazer and taken the long way around because we hadn't wanted to pass through the town until we were sure what it was. He parked at the base of the mountain and hiked up. We walked across the railroad tracks and past a small gas station with a lone oil drum full of diesel fuel and another filled with water. The street was lined with old cars, some of which looked like they'd been there for a while, others which had probably just arrived that morning. Hungry Horse wasn't a ghost town or even abandoned. It was thriving. Thomas and I entered the town cautiously because despite appearances, the place could be dangerous. While we didn't run into any trouble, we did notice that everyone seemed indifferent to the fact that they appeared out of nowhere. Most of them ignored us completely, although a few gave us strange looks. "Some of these people look familiar," I said, thinking over at Thomas. He nodded. "I know what you mean, Sam. Recognized a couple people in the diner, too. It's weird." Those words echoed in my head as I watched a man carrying a bucket walk down the sidewalk. "It's weird," I repeated silently to myself. My eyes followed his movements. The man carried himself with confidence and purpose, but he never looked up at where he was walking. Instead, he stared straight ahead and continued forward without looking back once. He disappeared around the corner of a building and I noticed another person staring directly at me. He was tall and thin, wearing a black hiking jacket. His face was pale and he was bald. He was standing in the doorway of a small coffee shop. He reminded me of a missing hiker that we'd been searching for last week. And that's when I realized why I recognized some of the people here. They're all people who have vanished from national parks. And that's how we found out that almost every single person in Hungry Horse had been reported missing from national parks. We spoke to everyone we could find. Some refused to talk, others were friendly enough, but none of them knew anything about why they were there. As far as they were concerned, they lived in Hungry Horse, Montana. They weren't sure exactly when they arrived there, A lot of them didn't remember much before arriving in Hungry Horse. They also told us that they'd been here for years. Many of them had been born and raised in the town and believed it was the real deal. They all knew the townsfolk by name and went to school with them. One woman, an older lady named Irene, told us that she had no idea that she'd been reported missing. She worked at the local hardware store and she'd been living in Hungry Horse for more than 45 years. What about your husband? I asked. Do you have children? Grandchildren? She shook her head. No, I never married. How do you feel about being here? Do you miss anywhere else? Your family, maybe. Again, she shook her head. Not really. This is my home. As far as she knew, this was the only home she'd ever known. I tried to ask if she missed her family, but she just smiled and told me her family was right here in Hungry Horse, Montana. We thanked her and left the hardware store. Hopping back into our park ranger truck, we drove deep into town. I don't like this, Sammy, Thomas said. I had a feeling of being watched ever since we entered town. I looked over to him. He was staring at a man standing by a large semi-trailer outside the diner. The man was holding a jug of milk. I couldn't help but think of the hiker that he found dead last week. Sam, you listening? I snapped back to reality and looked over at my partner. Thomas had started quivering in fear. I'm sorry, but what did you say? I said, I think we should leave. I don't want to be here anymore. I looked around the town. There's some people here. So many people who shouldn't be here. All of them were perfectly normal. Some of them even knew each other. How could there be so many people in a town that doesn't exist? I agree. Let's go. We drove away from the town and back to the ranger cabin. Thomas was still shaking. I'm gonna call this in, he said. The whole thing's bullshit, but better document it anyway. I mean, how could an entire town full of missing people just appear in the middle of Yellowstone? I nodded. Okay, I'll be in the cabin. I need some time to process all this shit. I sat down on the couch and I closed my eyes. It all felt unreal. I kept thinking about the hiker that we found out in the woods last week. He died while out on a bike in the wilderness. He'd been alone, confused. I just saw him alive and well in a town. That doesn't exist. I opened my eyes and I looked around. I took in a deep breath and let it out. It felt like wood smoke and pine. I stood up and started pacing the room. What am I supposed to make of this? I asked myself. It's kind of a sick joke. The government put a town in Yellowstone for some reason? What if it's not a town? Maybe it's a cover-up for something worse, I thought, before zoning out. There was a knock at the door. It startled me out of my daydream. Hey, man! Yeah. Two men came inside, both dressed in black suits. Are you the one in charge here? I'm the master. I looked at him and nodded. The guy was wearing a badge on his chest and a gun on his hip. Some kind of FBI agent. About to talk to him. I don't know if they'll believe me, but what the fuck do I do? First off, let me clarify a few things from my first post. I was a wildland firefighter up until about a year ago when I decided I needed to change of pace. So they weren't FBI agents. They said they're from a private company that deals with the otherworldly. I sat in front of the two men waiting for them to start asking questions. So, you know why I've been assigned to the case? Probably the two men asked. They're the only one in the park who knows anything about this. I nodded. Thomas also knows, but I think you guys already know that. It's pretty weird. The town you described doesn't exist, not according to the GPS and satellite data. Yeah, it does, I answered, surprised. That's a lie, second man said. He had short blonde hair and wore glasses. He checked every point on the map, every house, every business. There's nothing there. Bullshit, you can't tell me you... been everywhere in the park and haven't noticed it. When I first came to the park, I saw the sign for Hungry Horse. I thought that it was a joke at first, but then I saw the motel, the gas station, the diner, the hardware store. I saw the people inside of them. The man with the glasses slowly stood. But we checked everything for the surrounding area. We looked at aerial photos, satellite images, even flown over the valley with a helicopter. Well, maybe you should look again. Because clearly you missed something. We did. There's nothing there. It's not possible. Do I have to fucking show you where it is myself? I asked. Both men exchanged glances. Then the shorter one nodded. Very well. You're so sure you've seen something unusual. We'll take you there. Thank you, I said. We got on my chair and I followed the two men out of the cabin. They were in their early 50s, both with short hair, blue eyes. They were talking quietly to each other as I followed them out of their cabin, their unmarked car. Now, the man with the glasses said, if you could lead us to your town, sure. And I replied. We drove deeper into the park. Our vehicle was equipped with a topographical GPS system, which made it easy to navigate through the rugged terrain. After an hour of driving, we came to a hill overlooking a wide valley. We passed the sign for Hungry Horse. You see that sign? I don't know. The men just looked at each other. I'm sorry, what? So the man. There's a sign here. It says Hungry Horse, right? The man shook his head. I don't see anything. He pulled off the road and stopped right before the sign, turned off the engine and looked at me. Maybe we should get out and look again, he suggested. I agreed. I got out of the car and I ran over to the sign. It's right here, I shouted. He walked up behind me and looked over my shoulder. The hell is it? It's a sign. It says Hungry Horse. He looked at me and glared. I grabbed his arm and pulled him over to where I could see the sign. Can't you read? He pulled away and rolled his eyes. Read what? It says Hungry Horse. The hell are you talking about? I pointed at the sign. Look! The name of the town! The man sighed. There's no sign there. I got angry. I was about to yell at the agent when out of the corner of my eye I saw someone walking toward us from out of the woods. In the direction of the town was Irene, the older woman from the hardware store. My eyes lit up and I pointed at her. Irene! I yelled excitedly. The agent turned to face the old woman. His eyes widened in surprise and he opened his mouth to say something, but before he could, Irene hit him and sent him flying into a tree. You shouldn't have come back, Ranger, she hissed. With lightning speed, she charged the agent with glasses. Run! I yelled and jumped into the car. It was too late for him. Irene had already snapped his neck. Then he ran back to the unmarked car, tried to start it. The engine sputtered and failed to turn over. Irene stood directly in front of me, blocking my path back to the cabin. Who the fuck are you? I yelled. You should never come back here, she said. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. The hell is going on? She snarled and lunged forward. Her teeth had grown sharp and she was snapping at me, but I evaded her bite and rammed my fist into her stomach. Damn it, I yelled. I grabbed her shoulders and threw her into the side of the car. She slid across the hood and fell into the ground. I jumped across the car, kicked her once in the ribs. I'll kill you, I said. She smiled. I've been dead for years, honey. I was about to punch her again when a hand grabbed my arm and yanked me backwards. I spun around and stared at the person who grabbed me. It's Thomas, my partner. He followed the agents and I. What the hell are you doing? Don't be stupid. We have to get back to the cabin. I looked at him and I shook my head. We can't run from these things, I said flabbergasted. What the hell's wrong with you? He slapped me hard across the face. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. I rubbed my cheek and looked at Thomas in disbelief. What are you talking about? His eyes were wide open with panic. I heard Irene starting to get up. You have to leave now. And right fucking now. He grabbed me by the collar and pushed me into the driver's seat of the dead agent's car. Get in, and drive. What about you? You can't fight for me anymore. You know how many Rangers they've taken? Get out of here. We just found out about the town yesterday. How do you know this shit? You just found out about the town. What the fuck does that mean? Go. I'll keep Irene occupied. Just get back to the cabin, read my journal. I don't believe this shit. I know. I I pulled the 180 and sped back down the road towards the cabin. I saw Thomas jump on Irene in the rearview mirror. It was bigger than he usually does. He was standing on top of her, pinning her arms to the ground. "Fuck you!" Irene yelled. Thomas punched her in the face and she went limp. Stay down. The last thing I saw was Thomas running towards the town. I'm back at the cabin, reading through his journal. There's just so much I never knew about it. Hey guys, it's Sam again. I finished reading Thomas's journal and I can't believe I trusted it. Thomas knew everything. He knew what the town was all along. He knew Irene would come after me. He didn't tell me anything. It felt like such an idiot. Every single national park has one of these towns. He'd been the head of a team of people called the Watchers, a branch of a company called ARC, Anomaly Research Corporation, assigned to monitor hungryholes, to make sure that the people who go missing in national parks are found before the town can get them. Jesus Christ. Why didn't I figure this out sooner? Why did I trust him? Stupid. I read some more of his journal. It explains that the towns might be sentient and choose who can see and interact with them, and how national parks are only founded when one of these towns blink into existence. Yellowstone is the first and has the largest town. But towns aren't the main threat. It's what the people who get taken turn into. When they get taken, their minds are changed to become something else, something sinister. I flipped another page and it explains the town doesn't take everyone. Some people are harder for the town to influence. They can resist its power. These people are called Watchers. Watchers still can be taken, but it's rare. I think Hungry Horse just took the last Watcher in Yellowstone. The phone number and a note written inside the front cover of the journal says to call the number if Thomas is missing or if he seems off, or to tell people who pick up on the other end that Thomas has been compromised. This is fucking insane, I thought to myself. I set the journal aside and I look out the window. The sun was setting, cast a beautiful orange glow over the mountains. I could hear the river flowing nearby. I heard a noise outside and turned around. A large shadow moved quickly across the trees near the cabin. I watched as it approached the edge of the woods. It was Thomas. He didn't look injured at all, despite the fight with Irene. I ran to the door and locked it as he stepped onto the porch. I looked out the window at him. "Why aren't you injured?" I asked through the window. "They can't hurt me anymore," he responded. "Who are they?" I asked. "The town," he whispered. "The town?" "Yeah." "What happened to your team?" "He's dead. He's gone." "Is that why you never told me about the town?" "I didn't even scare you." "How'd you know Irene would come after me?" "The town let me know." "The town? What?" "You know what I mean. The town tells you stuff because you're a Watcher?" "Yeah." "Fuck. It's not important. Your journal didn't say the town was intelligent. It's alive. It thinks and it feels. It's a living entity. Its mind is vast and powerful. And it talks to you. Sometimes. What does it say? Everything. Everything. I was dumbstruck. "That's impossible." "It's true. Now please, let me inside," he loudly begged. I noticed something was off with his voice. "Why do you sound different?" "Because you're making me nervous. You're freaking me out." "Please let me in." I looked at him for a few minutes without saying anything. There was something about his face that made me curious, something that seemed off. Look. Finally, I shook my head. Sorry, Thomas. He threw his body at the door. Let me in! He shouted. I can't do that, Thomas, I said calmly. I unlocked the gun locker and grabbed the only shotgun we had. I pointed it at him and waited. Thomas stopped moving and leaned against the door, his breathing becoming shallow and quick. Then, you're my best friend, he started to say. I'm sorry, Thomas. I can't open the door. Stop lying! Open the fucking door! He started throwing himself against it again, panicking. I pushed the table and couch in front of it. Samuel! He screamed. Open this door! I just ignored him, went upstairs and laid on the bed. He kept banging on the door for an hour. Eventually, he stopped banging on the door. But I could still hear him yelling. I think I might just call that number that he was on his journal. Maybe ARC will send someone to deal with Thomas. I dialed the number. It rang 3 times before a man picked up. Hello? Thomas? I sat there silently. Got Thomas. Are you safe? The man asked. No, I'm not fucking safe, I screamed. Thomas has become one of those things from Hungry Horse, and now he's here, and he's trying to break into the cabin. Hold on. We'll send someone right away. Is anyone else with you? Just me. Okay. Stay put. Don't let him get inside the cabin, I said. And then he hung up. I laid back down on the bed and tried to ignore the sounds coming from downstairs. I could hear Thomas pounding against the door again. I was terrified that ARC wouldn't show up soon enough. Then suddenly I heard a car pull up outside. I jumped off the bed and rushed downstairs and looked out the window. There were men with rifles standing outside. I saw one of them run to the cabin. The banging at the door stopped. Thomas noticed it. I heard Thomas roar and the sound of gunshots. I watched as the man loaded Thomas, who was still alive somehow, back into the van. The 2 men got into the van and drove off as another car pulled up to the cabin. The man in a white lab coat stepped out and walked up to the door, knocking on it. Open the door, Sam. They'll make this harder than it has to be. Who the fuck are you? My name's Dr. Jaden Oxblood. He said. Well, what the hell do you want? I need to talk to you about Thomas. I don't have time for your bullshit. Just leave me alone, I yelled at him. I heard him sigh, and that's when I felt an arm grab my shoulder, and something pricked my neck. I started to curse, and the world faded to black. I woke up on the couch around 30 minutes later. Looking around, I saw that Dr. Oxblood was sitting in a chair across from me. Now that everything's calmed down, you can tell me everything you know, he said. Guess I didn't have a choice. Oxblood drove me to the headquarters of ARC. Once there, Oxblood led me into his office and told me to sit down. He locked the door and sat across from me. The room was filled with bookshelves and pictures of presidents and generals from many different wars. On the walls were weapons that I didn't recognize. So, tell me about the town, he said. Makes you think I know anything about the town, I asked. I have reason to believe you're aware of its existence, he said. Fine. What do you want to know? Tell me everything you know about the town. Everything? I asked. All of it, he answered. I told him about the day that Thomas told me about that town, our trip to Hungry Horse, and how Thomas had stayed behind to fight Irene. He listened intently as I spoke. He was taking notes while I talked and occasionally asked me a question. When I finished telling him everything he wanted to know, he stood up and walked over to a cabinet and opened it. He reached inside and pulled out a small silver box and placed it on his desk. What's that? I asked. It's a key, he answered. One day you'll need it. Why would I ever need a key? I asked. You'll find out, he said. If you really want to find out what happened to your friend and figure out what the town is, you'll use the key to unlock the secrets of the town. Why should I trust you? Can't tell you that, he said. You'll have to learn to trust me in time. He handed me the key. It was heavier than I expected it to be. I looked at it for a long moment before putting it in my pocket. What do you plan on doing with me? I asked. You're a very valuable asset to us, he said. We want you to become the newest watcher of Yellowstone. I stared at it for a second, remembering what I read in Thomas's journals. The hell is a watcher, exactly? It's a title given to humans who have been chosen by ARC to help protect the world from the supernatural, he said. Doesn't ARC already have watchers? I asked. Yes. They have many watchers, but none of them have ever entered one of the towns without changing. Like you. You're the first human to enter one of the towns and return without becoming a monster, he answered. I sat there and I thought about it. So if I agree to become a watcher, what are the risks? I asked. There are no guarantees, he said. The risk of your life, your sanity, and possibly losing your humanity are all high. And what happens if I decline? Well, we'll kill you. I laughed. And that's why you think I'll accept? He smiled. Because you want to save your best friend Thomas, you want answers. Are you saying you can give me those answers? I asked. Not yet, he said. Once you become a watcher, I'll be able to teach you everything you need to know. How long until I can become a watcher? He smiled. You've been a watcher ever since reading that journal. I stared at him for a minute before shaking my head. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. All right. So what exactly do you expect me to do? I don't know any more about towns than you do. I know that much. So, why did you ask me here then? To offer you a job. A job? Yeah. A job as a watcher. Why don't you become one of us? What kind of job is it? In order to become an official watcher, you must become a member of the ARC. What does that entail? You'll have to sign an agreement stating you can work for us. You'll also be required to undergo training and take a test to prove yourself. And what do I get in return for signing this agreement? Bigger paycheck than you've ever seen. Seriously. Pay is good, he said. But the real benefit is the knowledge that you're helping to keep the world safe from monsters, demons, and other threats to humanity. Not everyone gets that chance. Sounds good to me. Good, he said. Congratulations. He opened the door with a key, and we left the room together. On the way out, a man dressed in a parker uniform approached me. It's your new partner, Oxford said. Well, welcome to ARC, he said. Do you mind if I ask your name? My name's John. I shook his hand. Nice to meet you, John. Likewise. All right, well, I guess this is goodbye for now, Oxford. I'm sure I'll see you soon. But better hope you do. After leaving the building, John and I got in his car and drove off. So where are we going? Back to your cabin. We arrived at my cabin. The sun was setting and the sky was getting dark. We got out of the car and headed toward the cabin. Once inside, I sat on the couch and looked at John. So what's gonna happen now? That depends on you. What do you mean? John took out a bottle of whiskey and poured himself a drink. I watched as he drank most of it before answering. I intend to train you to become a watcher. Well then, you'll be living with me. Living with you? The next couple of months. That's it. I hope you get used to being a watcher, so that when it becomes time for you to choose your own partner, you'll be able to keep them safe. You also start to learn things about ARC that even some of our agents don't know. What kind of things? Yeah. Can't really explain it to you. It only makes sense once you're trained. I nodded. Fine. Drink up, he said. We need to get you settled in. I laughed and poured myself some whiskey. John says training begins in an hour. I'm going to take a nap before he trains me. I was woken up from my nap by the sound of shattering glass and John yelling for me to get my ass downstairs. I ran down the stairs and into the kitchen. What happened? It wasn't John who answered my question. Hello, Samuel. Seems I got the upper hand this time, Irene said, holding John by the shoulder. She looked much younger than when I last saw her. She was wearing a black dress, white gloves, and her hair was done up. She was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. What did you do to Thomas? I asked. Thomas was a fool, Samuel.
He chose to stay behind to protect you. He made his choice, and my town changed him. I would have killed you both if you hadn't escaped. But now you're mine again, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. What are you talking about? What do you mean, your town? I asked. Irene smirked, her eyes sparkling with hatred. My town is a demon. The town is a creature created by the Demon King. He built our town to serve as his prison. He put all the monsters in it so that they could one day be released upon your world. I was speechless. My mind is reeling from the news of the town. Who are you? I finally managed to say. I'm the gatekeeper of the Demon Kingdom. I'm here to destroy the world and end life as we know it. Let me go, John shouted. She slammed him against the wall and held him there with ease. You're not going anywhere till I decide otherwise, he said, smiling. Release him. She looked at me and laughed. You don't seem to understand, Samuel. I control this place. Nobody is going to help you. She let go of John and walked towards me. You don't scare me. And I know you can't hurt me. And that's when I remember the silver key Dr. Oxblood had given me. Where did you get that? Wouldn't you like to know? I suddenly felt something strange. It was like my body being pulled away from my soul. I struggled to hold on to it. What are you doing? I tried to resist, but it was too late. My soul was gone. Give me that key! She screamed, running towards me. Suddenly I was back in my body again. I was kneeling on the floor in front of Irene, holding onto my head with one hand and clutching my chest with the other. I could see everything in slow motion. I watched as Irene charged towards me, her face twisted in rage. I stood up and I grabbed her by the neck, squeezing tightly. Let go of me! She screeched. I squeezed harder. I felt her throat bulge and blood began to leak out of her mouth. I threw her through the window she had broken through. I watched as she got up and glared at me before turning and heading towards Hungry Horse. I turned around looking over to John. He was standing in the doorway, a deep gash running down the side of his face. He smiled at me. And then I needed as much training as I thought you would. Pretty impressive. I felt a surge of pride. I'll be right back. That's it. Be careful, Samuel. He said. Don't get yourself killed. I smiled. I didn't dream of it. What's happening to me, guys? I followed Irene back to her house at Hungry Horse. I was hoping to kill her. But right as I was about to enter through a window in the basement, I heard her say, "You dumbasses ready yet? We need 5 more humans, and I'll be powerful enough to open another Hellgate. I want to open the next one in Canada." I backed away, looking into the window on the bottom floor. I saw about 20 of the townspeople gathered inside. That's when I turned and ran. I ran as fast as I could, dialing John's number as I crossed Hungry Horse's border back into Yellowstone. John answered his phone almost immediately. "Where are you?" he asked. I ignored his question and asked one of my own instead. "Are there people camping in Yellowstone tonight?" I asked. "I'm not sure. Why?" "Irene only needs to take 5 more people before she can create another town. And she's got a group together to go out and find more," I said. He swore under his breath. "How big is the group?" I asked. "About 20, he said. "All right, listen, I have a plan. We need to stop her before she can take more people. Are there any people camping close to Hungry Horse?" I questioned him. "There's a couple camping around Old Faithful," he said. "How far away are we from there?" I asked. "I don't know exactly. It's hard to tell how far away anything is in Montana at night. We should be within half an hour or less," he answered. "All right, listen, I have a plan. Can you get to the campground before midnight?" I asked. "Yeah, I can be there in 20 minutes," he answered. "Good. Get your gear together. Meet me at the glacier. Don't forget to bring your guns." Anyway, roger that. "See you at Glacier," he said. I hung up the phone and stared at it for several seconds before dialing Oxblood's number. "No, Samuel," I cut him off. "No time. I need you to send a team out to the campground at Glacier," I told him. "All right, I'll have a team sent out as soon as possible," he answered. I hung up the phone as I began to run faster than any human has ever run before. I thought about Irene and how close she was to opening another Hellgate. I was filled with rage knowing I might die trying to stop her. I can think about that now. I needed to focus on what I was doing. If Irene opened another gate, who knows what will happen? The moon was slowly rising into the sky, casting long shadows across the ground. The air was cold, the temperature dropping as I ran. I could hear the sounds of wolves chasing their prey somewhere nearby. As I ran towards the campground near Glacier, I could smell smoke emanating from the campground. I shivered at the familiar scent and continued to run. As I got closer to Glacier, I noticed the campground was packed full of tents and RVs. I started hearing gunshots and screams. I looked around frantically for ARC operatives, but it didn't appear they were here yet. There was a large fire burning in the middle of the campground. It looked like someone had set it. I kept running, weaving between the tents until I found a tent that was completely shredded on one side and engulfed in flames. There was a body inside. It was completely mangled. I could barely make out any details of the person's face. There's no way of telling what race or sex the corpse was, but whoever this person was, they definitely weren't a friend of Irene's. I looked around the campground again and saw nothing but chaos. People were screaming, crying, running away from Irene's monsters as John fought them off. Suddenly I heard the sound of a helicopter. I looked up at the night sky and saw an ARC helicopter swooping in. It hovered over the middle of the campground, their lights shining brightly. ARC! Come on, hurry up! I yelled. I was still a few hundred feet away from the fight when I saw one of those things jump onto the roof of an RV and launch itself at the helicopter. It smashed through the cockpit window and tore the pilot out of her seat.
It's a one-stop shop. The Blendjet 2 portable blender is the perfect gift for everyone.
All eyes are glued to the unfolding future as predictions for 2023 continue to show a large economic decline in major cities. With this news, the country should begin preparing for the worst. In 2022, housing prices were not ideal. Will that trend continue to get worse in this new year? Or have we left the worst of it in 2022? Let's dig in. I'm Gary Franchi. I want you to stay on top of the latest news. Hit subscribe and tell your friends you saw it at the Next News Network. Goldman Sachs recently issued a warning that the current economic conditions may greatly affect home values in 4 major markets across the United States: San Jose, San Diego, Austin, and Phoenix. These predictions are said to be some of the worst in modern history and could rise to levels of recession similar to a celebrated crash of 2008. This news should be of concern to homeowners in these areas who fear significant losses if their homes fall short of Goldman's forecasted value. While we cannot be sure exactly how much these homes will devalue or if that might actually come true, it's important for residents in these cities to stay informed in this ever-changing market as they make decisions concerning their investments. Daily Wire reports, despite worsening economic conditions, Goldman Sachs has informed its clients that home values will plummet in 4 major markets across the country. Now, they state here that it could be comparable to 2008. Fox 10 Phoenix covered the story, and they spoke to a housing market expert who had a different perspective. Watch.
Goldman Sachs, since November, has been all over the place and where they believe mortgage rates will go.
The major investment firm comparing 2008 data with 2023 predictions, dramatic interest rate increases, and declining home prices. Tina Tambor, a senior housing analyst at the Cromford Report, says she just doesn't see it.
We dropped 58 to 60% in value during the 2008 crash, and they're predicting 25%. So it's really not a comparable scenario.
We have seen a shift in markets around the valley, but at this point, it's more of a market equilibrium.
Our records are showing that we just came out of a buyer's market, which was in December. We came into a balanced market, and then just within the past few days, we're just on the edge of balance and seller market.
Mortgage rates doubled in 2022, from 3 to 6%, taking some buyers out of the game and making it less competitive and less stressful for those still in the market to purchase.
According to Fox News, those cities could experience market crashes of more than 25%. Goldman Sachs said in their report that, quote, our 2023 revised forecast primarily reflects our view that interest rates will remain at elevated levels longer than currently priced in, with 10-year Treasury yields peaking in 2023 quarter 3. As a result, they state here that they're raising the forecast for the 30-year fixed mortgage rate to 6.5% for year-end 2023. Similarly, Goldman Sachs predicts that new home prices in New York City and Chicago will fall a bit. Small gains were expected in Baltimore and Miami. The report adds that, quote, assuming the economy remains on the path to a soft landing, avoiding a recession, and the 30-year fixed mortgage rate falls back to 6.15% by year-end 2024, home price growth will likely shift from depreciation to below-trend appreciation in 2024. With economic predictions for 2023 looking a bit grim, Goldman Sachs remains skeptical of the housing market. This means that homeowners must remain vigilant and hope that Goldman Sachs' pessimism will be proven wrong. After 2 years of having one political party dictate the overall economy, individuals everywhere are crossing their fingers that 2023 will begin to show signs of progress with a conservative set of eyes in Congress. Although it's important to be realistic, two words do come to mind: cautiously optimistic. At least so people can be mentally prepared for the worst and best case scenario instead of listening to experts give their opinions. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi. Thank you for watching that report. Approximately 20 million households in the United States are behind on their utility bills. That's according to a new report. It's shocking to find out that 1 in 6 homes suffer from this problem. The total amount owed by these families amounts to over $16 billion, with an average amount of $788 owed per household. You need to fight back against these greedy utility companies, and this amazing new device can help you do that with ease. With its patented technology, this device provides your home with a smooth, stable electrical current that results in an increase in efficiency, a reduction in dirty electricity, less wasted power, and is able to lower your energy bills. No matter whether you live in an apartment or house or an office, this gadget can save you money and give you peace of mind. It's not too late. Get 50% off now by going to SavePowerBills.com. That's SavePowerBills.com, or by clicking more for the link in the description box below. Place your order now and thank me later. We'll see you at the next report. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi.
You possess the power to impact the global narrative. Please share this report. And to get more videos like this, become a Next News subscriber by clicking the link below. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.
The average person loses 30% of muscle mass by the time they're 60. The reason? A lack of protein. But not all protein is created or retained equally. It's true. 83% of the protein from whey protein powder is turned into sugar. But there is a breakthrough method being used by thousands of people across the states to make sure they get all the protein their body needs to build new and stronger muscles and stay strong and independent as they age, instead of turning protein into excess glucose. Their secret? Getting the perfect balance of the 8 essential amino acids your body needs to make its own protein. This method is so much more powerful than anything you have tried before. How? When doctors tested it, they found that this remedy has an AAU, amino acid utilization, of 99%. This means 99% of the amino acids are used to make protein, and only 1% is wasted. Not only will this increase muscle mass and tone, but also improve your mental concentration, support your immune system, improve endurance, boost sex drive, and strengthen bones to protect against fractures well into your twilight years. So if you're ready to gain an overall sense of health, youthfulness, and vitality, I'll show you how to get all 8 essential amino acids in the right ratios that your body needs. My secret is a powerful new supplement called Perfect Amino. Introducing Perfect Amino. Perfect Amino gives you all 8 essential amino acids, so you can build any proteins your body needs without turning the extra protein into fat or glucose. In fact, Perfect Amino is nearly 600% better at fueling muscle growth than protein powder. It's true. Studies show that when you take protein powder, 83% of that protein is turned by your body into glucose, instead of turning it into amino acids. Meanwhile, similar studies show that your body uses 99% of the amino acids in Perfect Amino. So none of the amino acids go to waste.
I'm 83 years old, not even walking 1 to 2 miles per day, doing minor push-ups and stuff like that.
The last 3 months I've put on 12 pounds of lean muscle mass, which I could not do before.
When you click here, you can get an amazing deal on
Best goods in the valley.
Perfect Amino, which will last you an entire month. If you click today, the most you will pay is $39.95. And you can save even more when you buy multiple bottles. And just to make it the easiest decision, there's a 90-day money-back guarantee. That's 3 whole months. Thanks to Perfect Amino, many of our clients feel better, they look younger, and they even lose weight.
Perfect Amino isn't just for boosting muscle and bone mass. It also helps you lose weight and keep it off. For example, there's one clinical study where they looked at 500 overweight people, put them on a diet of healthy vegetables and fats, but there was a twist to this. Instead of meat or fish or dairy, they were giving aminos as their only protein source. The result? They lost between 2 and 16 pounds per week while maintaining their muscle mass.
I went from a size 10 pants to now a size 6. I wasn't doing anything different except taking Perfect Aminos.
And then within 3 weeks, the pain went away in both calves. And now I'm back to my regular tennis.
So click here to get your bottle of Perfect Amino and give your body the fuel it needs to build lean muscle, lose weight, sleep better, and more. Perfect Amino tablets contain no soy, dairy, or gluten and are vegan sourced from non-GMO ingredients. Plus, they are proudly manufactured in the USA. Don't just accept that you will grow weaker and more tired as you age. We have the technology to change that without surgery. Click here to get your bottle of Perfect Amino today and give your body the fuel it needs to feel better, look younger, and build more muscle mass.
This thing is the smartwatch that big tech companies don't want you to know about. It does all the important things that a smartwatch does for a fraction of the price. The health benefits on this smartwatch are so good and it's so easy to use that I got one for my mom and dad, and I even got one for my grandma. I mean, this baby has a heart monitor, blood pressure, heart rate, blood oxygen, and BPM. It tells your temperature, and everything is saved into an app with graphics and tables so you can see if you had a spike or a drop. These are health features that can actually save lives. It monitors your sleep, it's waterproof, it's easy to use, and it's even got a super long battery, believe it or not. This thing is perfect for kids, it's perfect for seniors, and it's perfect for, you know what? It's literally perfect for anyone. Now, obviously, it also does all the things that a normal smartwatch does, like take calls, messages, music control. It even takes photos from your phone. I especially love this smartwatch for its sports features. This has all the fitness tracking features you could think of, and it tells you how many calories you're burning. And everything gets loaded up immediately to the amazing app. This thing is the smartwatch that big tech companies don't want you to know about. It does all the important things that a smartwatch does for a fraction of the price. Did you know that smartwatches are a $5 billion
How can I help
industry?
you? Only the best products here.
Most smartwatches cost, what, hundreds of dollars? They're so expensive. I mean, they cost so much because of huge tech company expenses and salaries, including the billionaires that own them. But this smartwatch was invented by a tech startup with smart engineers, but no billionaires, and they unleashed fitness to turn...
Oh, you got what? Oh, I didn't realize I was already in the tube. Oh, my bad. I didn't realize I was in the tube. Is this London? I didn't know. I didn't know. I don't work here. This ain't my job. What the hell? That's your security? Is just a door for the gargantuan tube of fire? Just a little slidey door like somebody's back patio? What the hell? I'm suing this place. Absolute safety hazard. Ridiculous. Jeez. So anyway, that's an example if you do that part wrong. Just so you guys know. Just wanted to show you. Couldn't I just jump across these things, really? Like, couldn't Isaac just jump there, and then there, and then there, and we'd be done with this part? No, let's go through the fire. That'd be easier. Also first try. Yeah. Like the fire is really loud upstairs, then down here it's just like awfully quiet. Now we'll stand in the doorway while the massive flame passes by. Yeah, it's fine. 10 billion degrees. All good. Sure, you're not going to want to do that. See you in hell. Okay.
How is life treating you? Goodbye.
I feel really tempted to get a little stick at a marshmallow. I'm like this close.
Warning. Thermodynamic purifiers malfunctioning. Stand clear of filtration tubes.
I'll deal with him later. Not now, sir. I said not now. I'm looking for loot.
Warning. Thermodynamic purifiers malfunctioning. Stand clear of filtration tubes.
Oh, so somebody like threw them on high so that way it would burn out some of the gas, maybe. Okay. The doctor will see you now. That'll be $600,000. Oh, you're uninsured? $50 million. That's what we can do. Oh, there's the last guy.
Warning. Thermodynamic purifiers malfunctioning. Stand clear of filtration tubes. Toxic hazard detected. Toxic hazard clear.
Oh, you're back for more. This gun's basically just like a pimped out plasma cutter.
Stand clear of filtration tubes.
Alright, we're down here. So this should be the guy that we saw back in that large room now. And now to deal with the big old Leviathan.
The Leviathan's metabolism is slowing.
Something's up.
It must have worked. You gave it enough enzyme to dissolve a freighter. Okay, I'm unlocking food storage. Quickly get back there and space the bastard while we have the chance.
Oh shit. Yeah, DMCA for the twinkle twinkle. What's up, Pat? Yeah, thanks for reminding everybody to smash the like button. That's nice. It's motivating. Oh, we gotta go down. Oh, down there. Oh, this is the way. I think it's here. Yeah. This way, okay.
Exiting zero gravity.
Let's see. Oh. What was that? Of course, there'll be more to deal with down there. Alright, let's try. I'm gonna save the beam. Let's try the Ripper gun. And then. Only 5 left on that. Alright, we'll use the beam. Okay, that should be fine. Oh, right, I haven't really been using the force gun at all. Let's give that a shot. Short range kinetic booster device. I haven't even used it. Floor 1, please. Oh, the E key didn't work again on the elevator. I had to hit enter. That's weird. What was that? What? The room of confusion.
Level 3 security clearance required.
a valley.
Oh, we got full HP now. That's cool. I think we do have a new rig. I gotta go find a store. Hopefully that's up ahead. Force gun damage capacity. Usually we upgrade every gun with a little bit more damage.
Now I've got to go.
Contact beam only has, it has a primary fire damage. We'd have to modify that. I'm gonna hold on to some of these until we maybe get a new suit. We might have a new suit on us. Like I got a new rig or something, so I don't know if the new rig is something we can equip. There's a store in the main area.
How is life treating you? Whatever you need, I've got it.
Emotional damage. Ah, there's a store. Perfect. Force energy, nice.